is what they never taught you in school. 3 years before the ritual in Pasadena, in January 1943, the man who had already solved the physics of everything died alone in a New York hotel room. His name was Nikola Tesla. Within hours of his death, before his family could be notified, US government agents seized every paper, every notebook, every blueprint in his room. Tesla had spent 40 years trying to give the world free energy. He described the Earth itself as a resonant electrical cavity, a living field that anyone could tap for unlimited power if they knew the geometry. That geometry, the one Tesla mapped, is the same geometry Parsons was trying to access through ritual in 1946. And it's the same geometry that would be mapped onto Earth's surface by independent researchers 70 years later. Zachanu. The door wasn't just opened in 1946. It had been open all along, and someone had been making sure we couldn't said nothing. For 70 years, the strategy was simple. Anyone who reported a UFO was a crank. Anyone who investigated was a conspiracy theorist. The language itself was a weapon. Then something changed. 2017, the New York Times broke the story of the Pentagon's secret UAP program. Official military footage released. Tic-tac, gimbal, go fast. Suddenly the language shifted. UFO became UAP. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Cleaner, more technical, harder to laugh at. 2023, former intelligence officer David Grush testifies before Congress under oath. His claim: the US government has recovered non-human craft and biological remains, multiple corroborating witnesses, all with security clearances. Then the language shifted again. UAP became NHI, non-human intelligence. Not aliens, not little green men, not science fiction, non-human intelligence. A term deliberately chosen to include every possibility. Extraterrestrial, interdimensional, ultra-terrestrial, ancient terrestrial. A term that cannot be easily mocked. A term that leaves every door open. And then this week, March 2026, the White House registered both alien.gov and aliens.gov through CISA. No announcement, no explanation. When asked, the official White House response was 2 words and an emoji. Stay tuned. Let's run that timeline slowly. 1947, CIA formed the same summer as Roswell. 1952, Project Blue Book launched to manage public UFO reporting. 1969, Blue Book closed. Official position: nothing to see here. 2003, a Pentagon internal report meant never to be seen publicly, predicted that everything happening today would happen. Journalist Leslie Kean, who broke the UAP story in 2017, described it as one of the most significant leaks in modern history. In 2004, they downplayed it. Today, it reads like a scheduled program. 2017, Pentagon UAP program exposed. 2022, ARO created. New centralized UAP reporting hub. 2026, government registers aliens.gov. Every single institutional shift follows the same pattern. Contain, control, release, on their terms, in their language, at their pace. And remember where this started. The man who built the rockets that made the space age possible was simultaneously performing rituals designed to contact non-human intelligences. The man who sat beside him recording those rituals went on to found one of the world's most secretive organizations. One built on graded levels of secret knowledge, access to higher truths contingent on demonstrated loyalty. Both Crowley's OTO and Scientology operate on the same architecture. You only learn the real cosmology when you've proven you won't leave. And the real cosmology in both systems is the same. We are not alone. We never were, and someone has always known. Everything we've covered doesn't feel like a series of coincidences. It feels like a sequence, and at the center of that sequence, a number keeps appearing. The 47th problem of Euclid, the Pythagorean theorem, is the central symbol of the 3rd degree of Freemasonry. The geometric key, as Masonic tradition calls it, to squaring the circle, to reconciling heaven and earth. In 1792, a Rosicrucian network in Cologne, Germany, encoded this number into a product. It would carry it across 2 centuries. The famous Eau de Cologne, 47111. Your summer brides. The number wasn't an address, it was a marker, a coordinate left in plain sight for those who knew how to read it. The planetary governing line connects Machu Picchu, Skinwalker Ranch, Nan Madol, and the Richat Structure. This line sits at precisely 47.1 degrees. In 2011, NASA's Kepler mission discovered a binary star system. Two suns orbited by multiple planets in complex nested rotations, unlike anything previously observed. They called it Kepler 47. In 1842, Joseph Smith, founder of the Latter-day Saints, published a text describing the cosmos. He described a governing star called Kolob, the heavenly body nearest to the throne of God, where time moves so slowly that one of its days equals 1,000 Earth years. That's not mythology. That's relativistic time dilation, described mathematically 40 years before Einstein. And the governing star he described, a binary system with complex nested orbital hierarchies, matches Kepler 47 precisely. So the number 47 appears to be a coordinate, encoded by Rosicrucians, mapped by Freemasons, described in scripture, confirmed by NASA, and now governing the line where UAPs fly and ancient builders place their monuments. But here is the layer that explains why everything is happening simultaneously right now. A leaked Pentagon report, circulated internally in 2003, suppressed in 2004, described a coming geophysical event, not human-driven climate change. A natural cyclical reset built into the planet, the solar system, and the universe itself. The same event that collapsed Bronze Age civilizations 3,200 years ago. That caused the Greek Dark Ages. That wiped the ancient knowledge and reset human civilization to zero. Independent researchers tracking this cycle connect it to the 8,200-year event and the Younger Dryas, a sudden catastrophic shift in Earth's atmospheric and oceanic systems. The cycle is returning. That is why former Pentagon UAP program director Luis Elizondo is building a doomsday bunker. That is why investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, whose sources are inside the most classified programs in existence, has told his audience that something is coming, that his sources are preparing, that no one can give him a precise date. That is why the elite are not just building bunkers. They are preparing a narrative, and that is why what happened in December 2025 matters. Nuno Loureiro, director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, the world's leading researcher in magnetic reconnection, the physics of how plasma fields collapse and explosively reform. The same process driving the Schumann resonance anomalies being monitored right now. Shot dead at his home. He was 47 years old. The official narrative is a personal grievance killing. And that may be exactly what it was. But the pattern it sits inside, a Caltech astronomer shot on his porch, 6 researchers connected to the same US defense network dead or missing in under a year. That pattern does not resolve with a single explanation. Tesla's papers were seized in 1943. Eugene Malov, MIT scientist who blew the whistle on the Department of Energy's cold fusion cover-up, was murdered in 2004. Nuno Loureiro, MIT plasma physicist, murdered in 2025, aged 47, working on the field geometry of the grid. The grid is real. The geometry is consistent. The cycle is returning. The language is shifting. The domains are registered, and the researchers who mapped what the evidence actually shows, without waiting for the official version, are the ones you are watching right now.